Chapter 1. You are listening at FameTV.info. An unseen energy was surging towards a collectively built villa in the North City residential area of New Sea Base. The massive energy drilled into the villa in an inverted cone, pouring into a man/s body in a steady stream. Ian Ching on the master bedroom bed had his eyes closed and his brow furrowed, droplets of sweat rolling down his firm and handsome face, dripping onto the dark bed sheets and disappearing. Ian Ching clenched his back teeth, his face was almost bloodless, and the pain in his body grew stronger and stronger, as if he was being torn and gnawed by countless ants and insects. As more and more energy poured into his body, Ian Ching felt as if the blood beneath his skin was about to gush out from his veins. The promotion was really getting more and more dangerous, and in a trance, Ian Ching seemed to hear something, but he soon lost consciousness in exhaustion. What Ian Ching didn't notice was that as he upgraded his abilities, an energy quietly left his body, but a corner of the second-floor storage room slowly lit up with a faint fluorescent light. An icy tone then sounded, energy being replenished, detecting surroundings, detecting recorded data. Warning. Warning. The record does not match the environment. Temporary order detected. Remediation plan. Initiating remediation plan. The lamps in the originally dark villa suddenly flickered haphazardly, the energy-carrying items in the house shook together, and then there was an explosion. A huge fire instantly rushed out of the roof and set the entire villa on fire. The North City housing is on fire, someone put out the fire. How could there be a fire in North City, ISN/T that where the bigwigs live, the protection is the best in the base. I heard there was an energy riot. What do you care, hurry up and put out the fire. I heard the fire was at City/S house. What? Xing. You / talking about Ian Cheng, the lightning supernatural. The originally silent base became noisy because of this accident, yet when the fire disappeared, the room was only charred black. Cheng, you really decided, this job. Ugh. A depressed male voice came from the phone, however the man holding the phone seemed a little distracted. The company has been in the process of developing the new product for the past 2 years, and the company is now in the process of developing the new product. The first thing you need to do is to take a look at the time and date of the day and time of the day, he said. A long while ago, Ian Ching raised his head, shocked in his heart. He is back. The year 2019 will not be forgotten by anyone who has lived through the end times. At the end of 2019, a global meteor shower occurs on Earth, and the ash from the burning of the interstellar mass of matter carries a new type of virus that melts into every corner of the planet. Drinking, eating, and even breathing are invaded by the virus, and all living things can avoid it. In 2020, the zombies began to appear, and it took only a month from sporadic zombies to small outbreaks and then a global catastrophe. Then came the end times, which lasted a full decade. The first thing that the company will do is to make sure that the company /S employees are aware of the fact that the company is not only a good fit for the company, but also a good match for the company. Ian Cheng looked towards the room he was in. The living room was furnished with a sofa, TV, table, a water dispenser and a few simple fitness equipment. There are other rooms at the end of the line of sight, 2 of which have open doors, one of which is a bathroom and the other a bedroom, but they look very clean, as if no one lives there. The look of the suitcase was familiar. Ian Cheng stared at it and thought it might be something he had used before, but he couldn't quite remember. Ian Cheng stretched out his hand and carried it. It was heavy and packed. Did he just come here or was he about to leave? Ian Cheng /S memory of what happened 10 years ago had long since blurred, only remembering some general things. It was impossible to know what he was planning to do 10 years ago through the date. Looking at this somewhat unfamiliar room, Ian Cheng recalled back to the time when he was approaching the end of the world. It seemed that he had been working as a bodyguard before the end of the world, but later he had switched to delivery. Ian Cheng remembered that at the beginning of the end of the world, he used his delivery bike to escape from a number of zombies, also known as rabies. Ian Cheng. Yin Cheng was still trying to recall the relevant memories when a shout with discontent and anger suddenly rang out. Yin Cheng, who was named, was stunned. After becoming the only level 6 abnormality in the new sea base, he hadn't heard anyone dare to yell at him so loudly for many years. Yin Cheng. You put that down. You not allowed to leave. Along with the voice is a look arrogant aggrieved teenager, looks not very young. A white down jacket set off the white skin of the teenager, and was very beautiful and delicate. Yin Cheng looked at the other party s eyes full of anger, memory deep trance for a moment. The first thing you need to do is to make sure that you are not going to be able to get rid of any of the other people in your life. He closed the door, while his back to Yin Cheng s hand quietly locked the door. After locking the door, the teenager slowly approached Yin Cheng step by step with red eyes, speaking in a voice that became smaller and smaller with a hidden grievance. Brother Cheng. Can you not leave? I don't want you to leave. The young man grabbed Yin Cheng s arm with both hands and lifted his head, staring into a pair of watery, slightly red eyes as he pleaded in a small voice. You. Yin Cheng looked at the other party, some memories in his mind slowly waking up. Bai Xiao. Cheng, what I said yesterday doesn't count. I just want you to promise me. I don't really want you to leave. I won't force you to promise me anymore, so stay, okay? The young man, who was called Bai Xiao s face was full of aggravation. His hands gripped Yin Cheng tightly. It's good to watch you from afar. You stay. I can try to slowly dislike you. We are still friends. It good. Hearing these words, Yin Cheng finally remembered what had happened during this period of time. He was a bodyguard from a bodyguard company. He should have been hired by the Bai family during this period of time to take care of the Bai family s young master Bai Yu, who went to school in Zay City. But he didn't expect that Bai Yu had suddenly confessed to him. Yin Cheng remembered that at first he resigned and left the Bai family after confessing, probably because he left quickly. In Yin Cheng s memory there was no this teenager who came to stop him, and he had never seen the other party with red eyes. The first thing you need to do is to take a look at the new product. The next time he heard about Bai Yu was after the end times arrived in the capital and heard that the Bai family s youngest son had been pushed into a zombie pile on his way to the capital. The first thing that I want to do is to tell you that I am not going to be able to do anything about it, he said. What he was thinking at the time, right? It seemed like he shouldn't have feelings for his employer, and he didn't like men, so naturally he resigned and left. Brother Cheng, I was really wrong. Don be silent. When Bai Yu saw that Yin Cheng was not speaking, the fingers holding Yin Cheng s arm unconsciously gripped tightly, bringing fear and anxiety to his voice. Looking at Bai Yu, who seemed like a disturbed little animal, Yin Cheng hesitated for a moment and said, I am not leaving. Yin Cheng looked at this lively Bai Xiao in front of him, and to think that the other party had been pushed into the zombie pile at the very beginning of the end times, never to be seen again from this world. It was a bit too stupid, thinking that this pair of good-looking eyes might disappear from this world. Yin Cheng was actually a little pity. Yin Cheng, who had just returned to the pre-apocalyptic world, suddenly looked away. Anyway, he didn't have anything else to do. It was good to stay and protect this short-lived young master. The first thing you need to do is to take a look at the other person s face and see if he or she is a good match for you. Perhaps it was because the other party s eyes during the confession were too pure, not as calculating and greedy as Yin Cheng was used to seeing, so those eyes had remained in the depths of his memory. Really. As if he heard some incredible promise, Bai Yu s eyes widened slightly and his mouth opened stupidly, his voice all softened to ask again. Really? Yin Cheng looked at Bai Yu s eyes full of surprise and replied affirmatively. Before the end of the world, Yin Cheng was just a sellout in the eyes of other people, and the future was almost nothing. Bai Yu was still the first to confess to Yin Cheng. The number of people confessing to Yin Cheng has increased after the end of the world. The first thing that I want to do is to get rid of all the people that I\v confess to, and I\am not going to do that. The first thing you need to know is how many people have confessed to him after the end of the world. Cheng can \t remember, but the only person who confessed to him before the end of the world was you. It not just a matter of time, but also a matter of time. Brother Cheng, you \re so nice. Yu was so excited that he was about to open his arms and hug Cheng. Of course, because of the difference in size, this image looks like Yu is about to jump into Cheng \s arms. It had been a long time since Cheng had let anyone get close to him. He still has the reflexes that he practiced in the end times, and when he sees Yu suddenly approaching, Cheng immediately tries to counterattack with his hands. However, halfway through the attack Cheng regained consciousness that the opponent was no match for him in the end times and immediately unloaded his force. He was so impressed that he was able to get his hands on Cheng, but he didn't \t stop pouncing on him and hit him hard. Cheng only felt a pain in his wrist, as if he had hit something hard. Cheng took a step back away from Yu \s embrace and lifted his hand that had pain to see that a spot on his wrist had been bruised. Brother Cheng, are you alright? The first thing you need to do is to take a look at the shoes you are wearing. On seeing the injury on Cheng \s wrist, Yu was even more panicked, busy reaching into his coat pocket to pull out the things inside, some angry hands up to throw away. Muffled self-reproach said, I\ll call a doctor. Ha! Is this yours? Cheng saw what Yu pulled out of his clothes, but his eyes were a little surprised. Yu \s hand stopped throwing things. The style of the watch in Yu \s hand was the same as the one his men had given him in Cheng \s memory, but that watch was only delivered to Cheng after 10 years. Cheng took the watch from Yu \s hand with some surprise. The hour and minute hands in the dial of the watch were oddly shaped, and there were several small dials set in the dial that served no known purpose. Cheng gently wiped the dust on it with his fingers, then turned the watch over and looked at a scratch on the inside of the bracelet, his eyes deepening. Listen to the full novel at FameTV.info, direct link in the description.